unacceptable.
What?
You don't want me to go.
Oh God, don't be so melodramatic.
You have this weird thing against Jim. It makes no sense.
I don't think you're being sensible. I think you're jumping into this.
How is this any different than you and Greg?
And look how that turned out. I think you're jumping into this because you don't want to be home or whatever. I just don't think you're making the right decision.
Are you still mad about Christmas? Because I wanted to spend it with him? Or maybe you're just jealous.
What about money?
What are you talking about? Jim has a great job.
So you're just gonna live off him and do nothing?
He's building me a studio space in the living room.
In his tiny ass living room. How are you gonna put a studio in there?
I don't know.
This is about getting out of the house with Mom and stuff. You can stay with me. I have room.
Jim's been so excited for weeks.
What about you?
What do you mean, what about me?
You don't think you're rushing into this? You're 22, for Christ's sake.
No shit!
You don't even like the city.
It's different. There's Jim.
Laura.
What?
Don't snap at me.
I'm not snapping at you. Just stop, okay? I want to do this.
Then Mum called me, well, it was a Thursday evening, and about 8 o'clock, and she said, it's not looking good. And I could tell even just from the tone of her voice before she said anything that, this was not good. So I thought, okay, maybe he might rally around, and so it carried on with the usual stuff in the house, and sat up watching reruns of the X-Files with my teddy bear, sitting on the sofa, and my mother called at about 3 a.m. to say that Dad had died, and then I had to organise to get a flight home. I was fine, because when I find that when you're dealing with some sort of crisis situation, you compartmentalise, and you deal with what needs to be dealt with at that particular moment, as opposed to the big picture. So it's a case of, yes, I'm now in Wiltshire and I need to get to Cork, and how do I do that? I get in my car and I drive, and I leave the car and I get on the train and I get to the airport and I check in, and I get on the flight and I get home, and then I get home and my uncle, was waiting for me instead of my father. Excuse me. And that was when it hit me.
All right, Crazy. My trains are coming. I love you.
Love you too, Crazy.